Look at this, in under 2 weeks. Not bad, eh? And to see where this started and how much it's grown and matured over time, this is a pretty nice harvest. And in this video, we are going to go over the start to the end and how to grow microgreens in under 2 weeks. So stay tuned. So today we have an exciting video on microgreens. Exciting. So what we're going to do is we are going to test out a couple of different lights. If you tuned in with us last time, we were testing different ways to grow, different medium, from soil to mats. Those were hemp mats. And we had different results, and the results seem to be related to light. So this time, what I'm going to do is I'm planting 4 trays. I'm planting a couple of different things. I'm planting broccoli, and I'm planting brown mustard. So we're going to do 2 of each, and we're going to put 1 of each under each light and see if we can notice a difference in how they grow. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a T5 light, and we're going to have an LED light. Now, it's not a completely fair comparison because the T5, I believe, is 20 watts. In the 20-25 watt range, and the new LED I got is 40 watts. Now, maybe it'll make a difference, maybe it won't. We're going to see. There's so many other factors that maybe we can eliminate one of the ones that are stunting our growth a little bit, because our last grow was good, but it could have been a little better. So let's see, maybe it's the light holding us back. So I have 4 trays ready, 2 up here on the table, and I already have measured out our greens. So this is the brown mustard. I got 30 grams in here because the guide says about 15 grams for a 10-20 tray. So I'm going to spread these out here. Now, unlike our last video, these are not pre-soaked, which means spreading them is a lot easier. If you watched our last video, spreading pre-soaked seeds creates a lot of sludge, and they all stick together. Whereas when they're dry, they roll around like marbles and are a little easier to spread out. Now, I dropped a lot there, but just from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they're going to be a little crowded. So maybe next time, I'll make note that 30 grams, 15 grams per tray might be on the heavy side, and we'll scale that back a bit. Because another issue I could be having is overcrowding the trays. Now, I'm following a guide, but of course, the guide is for general mustard greens. This is brown mustard, whether or not there's a difference there. This seems like it's a pretty heavy saturation here. If I wasn't following a guide, I probably would not have went so intense. Now, these trays were pre-soaked, but I am going to spray them again because I do know from doing this, keeping trays moist is a bit of a trick. It's a lot better with soil, so much better than when we did the hemp mats, and endlessly better than when we did the paper towel. The paper towel, I don't think I'll try again. I found that very unsuccessful, and it was such a nightmare to keep everything wet. I literally had to spray them 4 times a day, and every time I came in, they were dry. So it's just, I think it's too much dryness.
And it is winter, and exactly. We do have a wood stove, so it does dry. We do have a little bit of dry air, which we may have different results in the summer.
Exactly, and we're gonna keep experimenting. So, as usual, we are going to stack these, and I'm going to do it over here. So, 1 down.
And this is our blackout, right?
Yep, this is going to be our blackout period. I'm taking these 2.
Our poor tomatoes. We have not got tomatoes from our tomatoes.
So, this is a broccoli blend, and this is also 30 grams. I measured it out and just put it back in here. So exact same thing. I'm just going to spread it out best I can.
So I do like the mixes because you can see the colors.
Yep.
I like color. I'm excited to try this one though.
Mixes are always great. I'm just a huge fan of the mustards. And for no reason other than the fact that it seems like for the life of me I can't grow them. So maybe I just...
like a challenge?
Or I hate myself. It's just one of the... As you can see, there's spots in here of beautiful spreading and spots where it's the first time I've ever touched a plant seed. So, once again, this seems a little heavy. I think 30 grams is too much. I think this could be overcrowding. I am going to scale it back next time. And that's all part of this game, is figuring out what works.
Yeah.
And guides change by up to 5 grams. And that's a big difference.
We don't have too much all up at this end here.
Once again, this tray was pre-wetted, but now that the seeds are down, I'm just going to give it a little bit more.
And because we're not very wasteful, what are you actually spraying them with?
I spray them with rainwater for a couple reasons. One, I just think it's a better type of water, but more importantly, we have a water softener. So I don't water any plants in our house with that. I make a point to use rainwater, and even in the middle of winter, we collect snow or rain.
Yep.
This winter it's been raining all winter, but otherwise it would be snow that we melt and use rainwater. So,
year round, everything.
Yep.
Fish tanks, everything.
Everything is rainwater.
We have barrels
Yep.
to collect rainwater.
So that's it for now. I am going to stack these on top of those. And then we are going to tune back in when we start to see some life, and we'll do an update then. And then, of course, we'll do an update when they get under the lights. And once they get under the lights, I'll start doing a daily update. Until then, I don't find there's enough to show. So I can unpack these for you every day, and you can see the little tails forming, and it's okay. But I just figure it's easier when there's something fun to see.
When there's something to see.
Yeah.
And what we're also going to do a video on, probably when we do an update of these and them sprouting out of the blackout, is we're actually going to use the green trays that we grew stuff in to do fodder for the animals. So we're going to start with some whole oats, and we're going to do fall rye. And those are going to be treats for the bunny, chickens, goats, horses, llama, sheep, geese, angry turkey.
And it should be no surprise to anybody that this is the first time hearing about it. So I don't know these things until I get told live on camera, apparently. So anyway, these stacked, I'm going to stack those on that. I'm going to put an empty tray on top of here and put books in it like we did last time. Mm-hmm. That way every single one of these has weight. The purpose of the weight is to drive the seeds down into the soil. And it helps with blackout. We also throw a bag lightly over the top to let it breathe, but to make sure that no light gets in during the blackout.
And so do we think what do we think is doing a better job? Do we think the blackout with the weight is more effective for these versus putting a thin layer of soil on them?
I do. In my guides, very few, if any, guides ever recommend putting a thin layer of dirt on top. And I think it's just because of this process. I think the act of stacking is like having a thin layer of dirt. It's that shield above them that just sparks them to grow.
Right, so it just drives the roots down as if there was.
Exactly. I think the little sprinkle of dirt over the top is kind of like an artificial blackout, but we're doing it a different way. So, and it's just less labor. So why would you do something like that if you can get away with that?
And less cost because there's no soil on top.
Well,
so
exactly.
It's less soil.
Yep. So it's all about what works too. So anyway, we'll see about this, and maybe in one of another videos we'll do it with a sprinkle of dirt on top, but we'll see how this one grows. So tune in next time. Okay, so this is day number 2 of our new microgreen grow that we are going to be testing a few different lights on. So all I'm doing today, they're still in blackout. They probably will be for between 3 and 5 days. I'm just misting them and checking their overall growth. So here we go. Wow. Okay, so this is some of the biggest grows we've had so far in 2 days. So something must be going right.
Soil.
We've done soil before. I don't know if it was this good.
Well, we did only in sunflowers. So it's kind of neat.
It is.
You can see how the weight pushed down the, like, you can tell where the weight is because you can see no roots.
And you can also see
And then
how
like,
the plants are pushing up.
yeah, and if you look there, you can see where the roots didn't quite go down.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right.
Let's check the next one. I already see.
Oh.
That's kind of crazy how they popped up with even the weight on them. Because that was a tray of dirt that's damp, so it has weight. Then the weight.
This is between 5 and 10 pounds alone, not counting the books I had on the top one.
So these look like, I don't know.
I don't know which ones
They look
these
like
are.
they're the same.
These might be mustard.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I don't see, or do I see different colors?
It could be. I see that it seems like one type of seed is doing really well, and then there are other seeds that just aren't going. Okay?
Very neat. That's crazy. Look at all the babies.
Wow. So, if we notice one thing, all the trays are incredibly consistent. They're all roughly the same height.
Yeah. And we don't know which ones are which. Well, maybe this one's mustard, because this looks like smaller seeds.
It could very well be. And the top ones sort of look like mixed seeds, in my opinion.
Because we didn't, think this ahead to label.
Nope. Next time, we're going to be doing lots.
Wow. Okay, now there's one more.
One more.
Oh.
And
Oh my god, they're so strong.
they are so strong.
Oh my god.
I mean, the sunflowers are the kings of strength. They will push the trays. But these ones are doing awesome.
But you would just think they just wouldn't grow.
Yeah.
So weird. Nature's so funny.
I'm just going to move over like this.
Oh, it looks like we missed a spot.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's kind of unbelievable how strong they are, eh?
It's kind of crazy how much grew in just...
How much grew?
How much grew in just that day.
Wow.
So, yeah. So here we are. This is day number 2. So we're going to black out probably...
This is 2 days?
I think 2 days. Potentially 3rd. So we're going to black out for about 1 more day.
Okay.
And then they're going to go under the light.
So why 1 more day where they're already up in yellow?
They can be a little higher. And all the recommendations are between 3 and 5 days. So if we go between 3 and 4, I figure we can't go wrong.
Okay.
Yep.
So we want them, it's to push the roots really down then,
Exactly.
I guess.
And they all have this blackout period. I think, and we saw this a little bit in our last grow, the ones that didn't have a blackout, the ones that were just put directly under the light, had really stunted growth. I think it's because they don't have that initial shock. They're looking for sunlight. They can't find it, so they're going to keep growing up. Whereas if they get access to sun, they stop. That struggle stops. So it creates that struggle for them looking for the sun that they just can't find.
And where we're eating them, you want them to struggle, which
Exactly.
sounds mean, but it gives you that long stalk.
Exactly. You
So
want
that you
you
can
need
eat
it a little
them.
longer than this, exactly. So anyway, 1 more day. We'll check tomorrow. And we'll probably have good progress because things are going really fast, and then we'll put them under the lights, phase 2.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining. This was an awesome update. All 4 trays are doing really well.
I really just can't believe how strong they are.
I know. I can't either.
Like, I just can't believe it.
And there were books on top of this one. It's just I removed them at the start of the video, but this tray does have weight on it too. All right. Well, we'll tune in tomorrow for the next update. Thanks. All right. So we're doing a quick update today. And what this is our official unstacking day. So we're going to unstack these for the night and get them ready to go under the light tomorrow. So we're going to see what the situation is here. But I already know from a little bit of peeking that they're growing pretty well. So anyway.
And what day is this?
This is Wednesday.
Hump day?
This is day 4 or 5. So, we're right at the right period of time to put these under the light. They won't go under tonight because it's late, but I am going to unstack them. It'll give them a little chance to stand up, and then tomorrow they're going to have the light for the whole day. And once again, as a mini recap, we're doing an LED 40 watt versus a T5 20 to 25 watt. So it's not a super fair comparison, but it's something. We'll know if wattage matters to some degree. Anyway.
Well, and spectrum.
Yep.
Don't forget how important spectrum is in growing things.
So, here we are.
Holy bananas!
So, they are really tall, and this is really impressive
Oh my
considering
God.
the weight that's on them.
Can you see the other side? I know, but look, it's exciting. Can you see them? Can you see this? He's ignoring me.
I can only see what's in front of me. She's pointing at things I haven't gotten to yet. We have the top tray doing awesome. We can tell they're pushing up even without the weight, even with the weight on them, I meant to say. And so hopefully they'll bounce up a little more with that weight gone.
They're so yellow.
Yep, they haven't had any sun. But they definitely germinated really well. This is our best germination yet. So, as soon as she's done playing, we'll move on to the next one.
I just want to see how strong they are.
This one is pretty much the same, except it's flatter, and that's, of course, because they're stacked. So this is why we'll unstack them today and give them a little chance to stand up.
But you can see they're reaching for the light on the edges.
Exactly. So, but they're already popping up, and just like the top tray, germination has been excellent.
Now what are you going to do?
Third tray in, also excellent germination. I do see the occasional fly. That's going to be helped when we get the fan in here. But you can see they're all popping up. They're just trying to reach for the light. They're all stuck down. This is why I wanted to unstack them.
That's so crazy.
It is.
They're like peeping out the sides, like the.
And the fourth one, exactly the same. As soon as I move the trays, they all start popping up. They're all reaching. They're just popping everywhere. This is awesome. So, germination for all the trays was incredibly successful. And now all that's left is to grow them under the light. They're all yellow. They're all ready. So this is it. So, as I said, I will unstack all these trays, put them all under the lights, even though they won't be on tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll do a video after they've been under the light for a full day. So we'll do one tomorrow night.
I don't know. I'm just more fascinated with the popping. And I'm actually getting it so people can actually see the poppings.
This is how strong they are.
Did you see that one?
They're just pop. Yeah, they're only held down by the weight. They're all reaching. And the sunflowers are even more impressive.
Everywhere is doing it, so I can't get them all. That's really neat.
So
what are you doing?
I am actually going to put them where they will be going. So we have enough space. One tray of each. I don't know which is which, but I do know that I put the two trays together. So one of these is the mix. The other one is the brown mustard. And as you can see, we got long enough lights that they will completely cover the trays. And then some on this top one. So that's perfect. So that's how they'll sit. And yeah, this is exciting. It's going to be very exciting to see how they do. All right. So today we have the day of the plants under the light. So as you can see, it didn't take them very long to stand up. This is after 1 day under these particular two are under the T5. So the growth is excellent. Right here. This is probably one of the best growths we've had so far in terms of the density. As you can see, there's very few thin spots like we had in the other ones. And then up here, we have the ones that are under the new 40 watt LED. And just judging solely based on the distance they are from the lip here, it's looking like the T5 has the better growth. And I'll tell you, the T5s are definitely greener. Now, the style of the light is slightly different, so I don't know how much that's affecting what I see here in terms of the green. They're both green. It's just the T5s look greener, but that could be the light shine. It's hard to say exactly. But the growth is still good. There are more thin spots here. But as you can see, the growth is still very good. I got to say though, from the few grows I've had, the T5s seem to be really, really excellent. And I mean, that's why you do the experiments, right? Because on paper, the LED should have the advantage in every way: energy efficiency, power. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys the 1-day update, and we're going to keep going until they're harvested and see what we end up with. All right. Perfect. All right. I'll do an update every day and we'll track the progress. Tune in next time. All right, so we got another update. This is day number 5. And here we have the T5. As you can see, these ones here are growing really well. And then right next to them, we have another tray that's not growing nearly as well. Now, these are 2 different types of plants, so we do have a mix and we have a mustard, so maybe they're just different speed growing, right? Because it's the only way to explain the light is literally identical, and they are side by side, equal watering, equal everything. And then up here, we have the plants that are under the LED. And it's a similar thing in which the left side is growing much more than the right side. And once again, all things being equal. But what I will say is, comparing this tray to this tray, the T5s are definitely growing the better plant by far. Well, actually, you know what? The smaller ones under the LED seem to be growing more consistently than the smaller ones under the T5. There's less bare spots. Of course, that could have been the way the seeds were spread as well. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys an update today. We're getting about halfway to harvest time. So, yeah. It seems just maybe certain mixes are just better for a microgreen grows, clearly. Because these two are very consistently lower. Now, that's not to say they won't take off either. They could just be slower on the front end. So we will compare at the end, of course, and see exactly what we end up with. But that's it for now. All right, so today is going to be one of our last updates, as the crop is pretty much ready for harvest. So this is about 8 days, between 8 and 10. So as you can see, the growth under the T5s, and here's the growth under the LED. As you can see, it's not much of a comparison here. The T5s blew the LED out of the water. Even though the LED is a more powerful light wattage-wise. Goes to show wattage isn't all that matters, because the growth here is just amazing. So yeah, so this is almost grown up to touch the light. As you can see, it's really tall and healthy. If anything, the plants are growing. They just can't get enough of the light here. They're reaching for it because the T5 is a thinner light, a single bulb. It just runs down the middle. And up here is actually a double bulb. And yeah, so big difference. It grew okay-ish, but I mean, there's no comparison, really. One thing for sure is both the trays on the right side, which I believe are the mix, did not grow as well as the left side. So even under the same lighting conditions, each type of sprout grows differently. But anyway, this was an excellent experiment, and definitely let me know that if I were to invest in lights going forward, I would just get into the T5s. And that's exactly why we do these type of experiments. Anyway, I hope it was educational. There's still a few more tests to be done and different mixes and all that. And I'm not quite harvesting it yet. We might do one more update where I do a little bit of a taste test and then we'll go from there. But anyway, that's it for today. All right, so today is our final update on the microgreen grow and the light comparison. So this is it. This is our ready to harvest in under 2 weeks. I'd say it's between 10 and 14 days, so it's just under 2 weeks. I let them grow a little longer than normal. But as you can see, we definitely have two very different situations here. Now, I will say that as you can see under the LED light, we have much more limited growth. Now, there is a bit of die-off here, and I think it's because I let this one go a little bit too long. Microgreens should be harvested before the seeds run out of nutrients. So, I don't think that was necessarily the fault of the the LED light, but if you know through going through our videos, the T5 was ahead all along. There is one other thing about this tray that was very important. This tray did not have holes in the bottom, therefore it was watered overhead. All the others were watered underneath, which is an important difference because watering overhead is really bad for microgreens. And that could have been ultimately what killed off this tray here. But as you can see down here, we have our mixed vegetable microgreen, which did amazing. They are just reaching for that light. They are perfectly healthy. And they're really good. They're not dried out at all. This over here was our mustard. And the mustard grew consistently in the top and bottom trays. Still did better under the T5 light. Looking a little drier up here. But also good and very spicy. Can definitely tell that's the mustard. So, very hot. So, these two, actually, I will try this one too, just to compare. Yeah, they're very hot. So, both of these trays taste about the same. Both of these did mostly the same. The one under the LED light, the one under the T5 light, the one under the T5 light did slightly better. They're slightly higher. They're a little greener. The one under the LED light is a little browner and a little shorter. The mixed greens, believe it or not, just a day or so ago, these looked all like this. So they all looked relatively healthy. It was only actually today that they died off, and they did die off. Once again, that could have been to the overhead watering creates a really bad mold problem, which clearly wasn't present here. These were watered underneath, under the T5, and they did amazing.
But wouldn't they just grow? Like, they shouldn't die off. Microgreens won't die. They just... Oh, we did get mold.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. You shouldn't water microgreens
Look
overhead.
how pretty.
I know.
But these turned out so green.
So of course that's not the fault of the LED light. That was the fault of the trays. So different tray setup. Really good comparison. Not just in the LED lights, but watering underneath versus overhead. I mean, the difference speaks for itself. So that's really good to know. Mold control, there absolutely no mold here. And it's because when you water underneath, they just suck up what they need and it sits in the tray. So it's just awesome. So, long story short, if I were to pick, I would definitely go with the T5. I find it more successful. I will do a few more experiments with this to make it fair for sure. This is a more powerful light and it's really affordable. So in future runs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try different heights, and I'm definitely going to do all under tray watering because that's just not a fair comparison. But not to compare anything at all, T5 is very successful, and I'm really happy with these mixed greens. And it also shows that different plants grow different success rates in a microgreen setup. The mixed greens are like this, and actually this is like the third time I've planted some type of mustard seed, and they're all low like this. So this is just a characteristic of that plant. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Goes to show what you can grow in a house with just a couple of lights and a couple of trays. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned as I keep doing more comparisons until we can find the absolute ultimate setup to grow microgreens indoors. And thanks a lot for joining.